Dubrovnik is known as the Pearl of the Adriatic, a postcard perfect city of polished stone, terracotta rooftops, and even a few jaw-dropping Game of Thrones filming locations. But just beyond the tourist gaze lies something more. There are hidden stories here, a haunting sort of silence, and a history that refuses to stay buried. This isn't a video about dark tourism. It's about what beauty sometimes hides, about memory, about silence, and about what happens when we forget what a city has endured.
Welcome to Croatia. After a few years of not doing much solo travel, I am here in the Balkans. I'm going to make the most of an incredible 2.5 weeks. When I arrived in Dubrovnik, what I wanted to do is I wanted to see what some of those stories that are weaved throughout the city are that go beyond just the tourist gaze. This is a really interesting part of the world, and it's also a part of the world that has had some quite recent turmoil, war, etc. But that doesn't just go back to the 90s, that goes back, much longer than that. I think it's important and interesting when you travel places that you get a full picture, a full idea of that place, rather than just the souvenir shops and fancy restaurants. So that's what I'm hoping to do here in Dubrovnik. I'm hoping to get a glance of the city, see the quote-unquote ghosts of the city, see the remnants of those stories, those histories that breathe here. So come join me today as I go explore Dubrovnik.
As the sun rises over the Adriatic, casting golden hues upon the ancient stones, Dubrovnik awakens. Tourists flock to the city walls here in Dubrovnik, really eager to travel the almost 2 kilometers of limestone fortifications that surround the city. These walls have been here for centuries. They are almost 25 meters tall in some areas, and they are more than just a fortification. They are really a symbol of the strength and resilience of the city and the history that has happened here. Construction of the walls began in the 7th century, evolving over several centuries to adapt to changing military technologies and threats. By the 14th and 15th century, they had become the full form you see today. Notable architects like Michelozzo di Bartolomeo and Giorgio de Sebenico contributed to their design, integrating Renaissance and Gothic elements. The walls were reinforced with towers, bastions, and fortresses, and really helped create a solid, strong defense system that could protect the sovereignty of this area for centuries. Minchetta Tower, standing at the highest point of the city, symbolizes Dubrovnik's resilience. Fort Bokar and St. John's Fortress guarded the western and southeastern flanks, respectively, showcasing the strategic ingenuity of the city's defenders. Together, these structures formed an unbroken chain of protection, enabling Dubrovnik to maintain its independence amidst regional turmoil. After hundreds of years of successfully protecting the city, Dubrovnik came under a new threat, a modern threat, with the start of the Croatian War for Independence in 1991. Culminating on the morning of December 6, 1991, the Yugoslav army launched a full-scale assault on Dubrovnik, employing heavy artillery, airstrikes, and naval support. On that devastating day, over 60% of the buildings in the Old Town, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, suffered severe damage. Despite being centuries old, the walls withstood the bombardment, shielding the inhabitants and preserving the city's core. The resilience of these ancient fortifications became a testament to Dubrovnik's enduring spirit. Residents recall seeking refuge within the walls, finding solace in their strength. Historians emphasize the symbolic significance of the walls during the siege, representing both physical protection and cultural identity. Their survival amidst modern warfare underscores the foresight of their medieval architects and the unyielding determination of the city's people. The bombardment of Dubrovnik in late 1991 wasn't an accident. It was a calculated strike on an unarmed, UNESCO-protected old town. An act that stunned residents and outside observers alike because no clear military logic seemed to justify the attack. After 35 years, every cloister, palace, terracotta roof tile has been painstakingly put back in place and repaired. The restoration took patience and international support, but its message is unmistakable. Whatever destruction might befall it, Dubrovnik rises, repaired and resolute. The visible scars are gone. What remains is a collective resolve that such violence must never return to these stones. Today, as visitors stroll along the parapets, taking in panoramic views of the Adriatic and the terracotta rooftops below, it's easy to forget the trials these stones have endured. Each step retraces paths once patrolled by soldiers, each vista overlooking battlegrounds of the past. The walls are not just relics, they are living stories of a city that has faced adversity and emerged resilient. The walls of Dubrovnik are a legacy to the stories that are etched within the very foundations and firmaments of this city. They are a reminder that even in the most beautiful places in the world, there is a story, sometimes a dark story. The ghosts of those stories still remain, they're still very real, and it's important not to forget them. Perched on a cliff just southeast of the old town in Dubrovnik is this incredible abandoned hotel. The Belvedere Hotel was once a symbol of luxury, and now it has been left in ruins. It is a haunting testament to the passage of time and the ravages of war. I have never really been one to explore abandoned places, but something about the story of this place just really entranced me, I guess. Opening in 1985, the Hotel Belvedere was a 5-star experience. It had 200 rooms, a panoramic view of the Adriatic Sea. It was cream of the crop, as luxurious as you could get, 5-star elegance. It quickly became a favorite among the elite of this area because it was an escape on the Dalmatian coast. But the hotel's opulence was short-lived with the arrival of the war in 1991. The people here in Dubrovnik found themselves under siege, and this happened to be a prime location right south of the old city. On October 3rd, 1991, the hotel was shelled by the JNA, sustaining significant damage. At the time, it was believed that Croatian forces had established a defensive position within the hotel, making it a target. The attack marked the beginning of the hotel's descent into ruin. In the aftermath, the Belvedere was abandoned. Nature began to reclaim the structure, vines creeping through shadowed windows, corridors filled with debris, and the once grand lobby now a hollow shell. For over 3 decades, the hotel has remained untouched, a silent witness to the city's turbulent past. Despite its desolation, the Belvedere Hotel found a brief period of pop culture resurgence when in 2014 a very pivotal moment in Game of Thrones happened right here when Oberyn, aka Daddy Pedro Pascal, gets killed. I don't know if I'm just stupid, but I can't find it. I've seen pictures of it. I have no idea where it is. Maybe I'm just dumb, but it's here somewhere. Okay, I would like to confirm that I am in fact stupid because it is literally right here, 20 meters away from where I was standing. Let me show you. It's right here. In May 2014, the hotel was sold at a public auction for over 12 million euros to Villa Laris, a company associated with Russian billionaire Viktor Vekselberg. Plans were announced to transform the derelict structure into a luxury resort once again. However, as of now, redevelopment has yet to commence, and the Belvedere remains in its decayed state.
Locals have mixed feeling about the hotel's future. Some see it as a scar and that it needs to be healed, and they're advocating for its restoration. Others think that it should be a monument to the past, a reminder of the city's resilience.
The Hotel Belvedere is more than just an abandoned building. It's a symbol of a bygone era, of conflict and survival. As Dubrovnik continues to thrive and attract visitors from around the world, the Belvedere stands in stark contrast, a poignant reminder of the city's journey through darkness and its enduring spirit.
Speaking of ghosts, and this video, being about the Ghosts of Dubrovnik, this place is rather spooky. I'm definitely getting a little spooked out. So, success! Behind me here is Daksa Island, an island which I've been trying to charter a ride to on a boat for the last 2 days, which is proving to be incredibly difficult, and there is a reason for that. Just a few hundred meters away, offshore where people are wining and dining, there is an island which most tourists don't know about, called Daksa. It is a quiet place, as you can see, covered in trees, birds, but it is a dark place. It has a very dark history, perhaps one of Croatia's darkest histories.
In October 1944, the tides of World War II were shifting. Yugoslav partisan forces, backed by the Allies, were retaking territory from the crumbling fascist puppet regimes. Dubrovnik, long under the rule of the Ustaše-aligned independent state of Croatia, fell without major resistance. But the aftermath was swift and brutal. Over 300 people were detained in the city. Many were accused of collaborating with the Nazis or Ustaše. Among them, Niko Koprivica, the newly appointed mayor, and Father Peter Perica, a beloved Jesuit priest and the author of cherished Croatian hymns. The partisans believed they were conspirators, but there were no trials, no hearings, no defense. Between October 24th and 25th, 1944, 53 of the detainees were taken by a boat to Daksa Island. There, beneath the trees, they were executed. Most were shot and buried in shallow graves. The event became known as the Daksa Massacre. The killings were justified at the time as a purge of fascist elements, but no evidence was ever produced. Families insisted many of the dead had no ties to fascism at all. To this day, no court has ruled on their guilt or innocence. No one has been held accountable.
For decades, this massacre was quietly removed from the history of this place. It wasn't until 2009 that the remains of those that were killed on Daksa Island were finally exhumed. 18 of the 53 victims have been identified free DNA. Some were teachers, some were clergy, and some were just average everyday citizens who never went home to their families. Today, there is a modest monument there, across some placards with names, maybe a few flowers. But there still hasn't been an official acknowledgement from the government, nor has there been, information put up in the old town, nor any sort of national memorial there. And that's because Daksa doesn't fit into a typical post-war narrative. Out of the people that were killed there, Some of them were guilty, yes, but some of them weren't, and I think that is the challenging part to come to terms with. And without any trials, unfortunately, we won't know the truth. Each year, a handful of locals will visit the islands to light candles, to have a quiet moment of remembrance. And some of these people are still waiting for there to be answers to what happened. From the shore here, Daksa looks like any of the other beautiful Croatian islands. But when you know the history that happened there, something changes or shifts. The beauty becomes a little bit more fragile, a little bit more haunted. It is a reminder that war doesn't only destroy buildings, but it can erase certainty as well. And when justice is skipped over, the effects of that silence can last for generations.
Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
You are welcome.
Okay, well, maybe just to get things started, do you want to just introduce yourself?
So pretty much for last 20 years, I'm a tourist guide in Dubrovnik. I grew up in Dubrovnik, so I seen it all. My family is here probably decades, centuries, who knows? And nobody takes the track of that. I was like a college dropout who took a camera, traveled to 131 countries around the world. But I'm always coming back home first. It's my home, and that's how we are set here, where you are raised, you come back to the place. But when you see the world, I saw all the homeless people, I saw all that criminal activity, people rushing to job and not living their life. And when you come back to the Balkans, we actually work to live. We don't do another way around. So we socialize more and we are more easygoing than anybody else. And it's a great place to live. I was born in 1981 when still it was Yugoslavia, till the fall of Yugoslavia in the beginning of the 90s. So it was like, different period because I was young and pretty much, nothing affected me that much. But that transition, getting into the 90s and war started in Dubrovnik, unfortunately. I remember the first day of the war because it was October 1st, 1991. And I thought it's a thunderstorm. And it was a clear day. It was like a sunny day, like an Indian summer thing. But my mother told me, son, you don't go to school today. And I was wondering and asking questions, but she told me, when you grow up, we will talk about those kind of things. At 10 years old, your childhood ended at some point, because you need to do some things, bring water to your home, start dodging bullets and trying to live a normal life, because we all got used to it after like 6 months. 6 months, no school, lots of the friends who left because some were from the mixed marriages of Serbian or Montenegrin, and pretty much lots of kids got killed during the 90s because kids are not afraid of anything. And pretty much you go out, your parents tell you not to do something and you do something. And that's how people were losing their lives. Many of the locals, they don't even like to talk about it, to mention it, because, they get all that PTSD things and overreactions and stuff. Problem with the Balkans, especially those 6 former republics of Yugoslavia, is that you can travel through Montenegro, through Bosnia, through Serbia, through Croatia, and listen to totally different stories. Propaganda worked well, the 90s. It took me some time to start accepting that, there are not only the good guys and the bad guys. You have the good guys and the bad guys on so many different sides. And if you want to stay objective, you also have to listen to some other sides. People, when they see the city, they can't believe that it's like, very intact. I love telling people about safety because it's like probably one of the safest places on planet Earth. The Balkans, complicated. Too many bad things happened here in the last 100 years. Even my grandfather lived through 3 different wars.
What do you think that is about the people there that you're able to come through such like an intense, period of history and war and come out on the other side.
Genetics. At some point, the spirit which you can't break from actually any sides. I love visiting Dubrovnik when I come back home from all my travels.
I loved it. I thought it was such a special place. I'd never really been to the Balkans before. It was my first time in that area, and yeah, the people were just really lovely. So I appreciate your home country very much. It was really nice. Cities aren't just bricks and rooftops. They are memories. They are shadows. And if you walk slow enough, ask gently enough, and look beneath the polish, you might hear what the stones are still trying to say. We come to places like Dubrovnik for beauty, for sunlit courtyards, sea breezes, the brush of centuries on our fingertips. But every city has its silences, and Dubrovnik's are deeper than most. There's a kind of dignity in how this city carries its pain. Never screaming it, never hiding it. The ghosts don't rattle chains, they wait in the cracks. In an abandoned hotel. In a ferry ride past an island no guidebook mentions. In a wall rebuilt, not once, but again and again. Maybe that's what survival looks like. Not denial, not forgetting, but building beauty over sorrow. Not to erase it, but to say, we're still here. What are we willing to notice when we travel? Are we only here for the view, or can we hold the shadows too? Dubrovnik doesn't need us to understand it, but maybe, if we listen closely enough, we'll leave understanding a little more about ourselves. About how we heal, how we remember, and how even the most beautiful places carry their scars. This isn't a story about war. It's about what comes after. And it's about what endures.